Today I will be teaching you how to build a aesthetic physique. This video is for people who have no idea how to start building strength and building muscle. And this video is for my younger self. Back then, younger Ray, he didn't have any idea on how to gain muscle. He wanted to, but he just didn't know how, and he struggled a lot and spent a lot of wasted time trying to figure out. So I wish that younger Ray was able to watch this video, and that is why I'm creating this video now for you guys, and so that you guys don't have to go through what I go through. So first, we're going to talk about what makes a aesthetic physique. An aesthetic physique consists of a V-taper, strong arms, and strong legs. A V-taper is how your body should be shaped. So if you look at anybody with a well-built physique or aesthetic physique, you'll see that their body kind of shapes like a V, or a pizza, or an upside down Dorito, or a triangle, or whatever you want to call it. But that's one thing that all aesthetic physiques have in common: a V-taper. Why is this attractive? We don't really know, but this is what everybody has, and this is what all of us should be aiming towards. Not only do all aesthetic physiques have a V-taper, they also consist of strong, thick legs and strong, thick arms as well on top of that. So once you achieve this V-taper, you will have an aesthetic physique. But now, how do we actually achieve this V-taper? Before I get into the muscles and the workouts and the exercises or whatever you have to do, I have to talk about eating clean foods. You do not understand how bad junk foods are for you. Think about all the chemicals that are in the junk foods. Once you consume them, where are they going? Think about the effect that has on your blood cholesterol levels, your gut health, and your skin or whatever, etc. Right? Not only is junk food bad for you, but it's also hard for your body to produce muscle once you eat the junk food, as there's not a lot of nutrients in the junk foods for your body to actually consume and build the muscle. So what should we be eating instead? Well, we should be eating unprocessed whole foods. What this means is that the food is only made up of one ingredient. Let's say, for example, potatoes. What are potatoes made of? Well, obviously it's potatoes, right? So that means that it is a unprocessed whole food. An unprocessed whole food means that it's only made up of one ingredient, which is itself. Another example are carrots. What are carrots made out of? Carrots. Corn is made out of corn. Rice, it's made out of rice. So that is what we should be eating. If we think about junk foods are made up of salt, malt salt, a bunch of random chemicals, right, that we don't even know. So that means it's unprocessed, and we shouldn't be aiming towards that. We eat whole foods because they consist of a lot of good nutrients for our body. And not only will this be better for our overall health, it'll be better for our body to build muscle. So our base to build our aesthetic physique is to cut out all junk foods. Okay, so now we have that out of the way. How do we actually build a V-taper? If I were to rank the most important muscle groups to work on to build your V-taper, that would be your shoulders, your back, your upper chest, and your core. Now you may be asking me, Ray, what about your arms? What about your legs or whatever? Those are called secondary muscles, and I'll talk about that later. But for now, the primary muscles that we need to work on to build the V-taper are your shoulders, like I said, back, upper chest, and then also abs. Why? The reason why these muscles are the most important is that they make your upper torso look bigger and they make your waist look smaller, giving you that V shape. So what are the exercises that work these muscles? For shoulders, what I personally do is I do a lot of overhead presses. I do a lot of lateral raises. So overhead presses are the ones where you go like this with the bar, and then lateral raises are the ones where you go like this. I'm gonna show photos, so yeah, it's easy to explain. And also something that is very important is single arm presses. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you. These ones are very good, and yeah, that's personally what I do. And I'd say that my shoulders have grown a lot over time. Obviously my physique isn't the best because I'm still very skinny, but over time I'd say that over the past 2 years I've built a lot of muscle, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm still continuing to go. So for the upper chest, this is a pretty hard muscle to work because a lot of people just work on the lower chest, and it gives you that weird sag. For the upper chest, this is a pretty hard muscle to For the upper chest, what you want to do is for the upper chest, what you want to be doing are incline bench presses, push-ups, and incline push-ups. We want to make sure that we're hitting all parts of our chest, including the upper chest and the lower chest, so that our chest can actually look even and good. A lot of people only do flat bench press and only normal push-ups, so that it only hits. A lot of people only do flat bench press and normal push-ups, and this only hits the lower part of the chest, which makes it look very awkward and very odd. I'll show a photo here. So we must make sure that we're hitting all parts of our chest, including the upper chest. What I personally did was that I also did weighted push-ups. Since push-ups were too easy for me, I would take a backpack and put weights in it and then do push-ups like that, and it really helped. For the back, the most important exercises are pull-ups, pull-downs, and rows. Me personally, I only started working on my back since like last year, December. And so my back is not the strongest, but I'm working on it, and I'm doing a lot of push-ups, and I'm also working on it a lot at the gym by doing pull-downs and also rows. Pull-ups are very important as they hit literally like all the muscles in your back, and it's probably the best exercise out of the three. And once you start doing weighted pull-ups, you're gonna be like so strong, and your back is gonna be wide. So definitely do pull-ups and do your weighted pull-ups. They're very, very important. Now here I also included abs because as abs give you that shape by your waist, and they make it look a lot smaller, while your big shoulders, upper chest, and back make your upper body bigger. So in terms of abs, it's not that hard unless you're like fat or chubby, but yeah. So for abs, I'm not gonna include any exercises because it either so abs what do I say? Now, I also included abs into these 4 main muscle groups because abs, they give you the shape by your hips and waist so that they make it smaller while your upper torso is big, which gives you that V shape. To get abs, you have to lose a lot of body fat. So if you currently don't have abs, it's because you have too much body fat percentage, So if you currently don't have abs, it's because that your body fat percentage is too high. So definitely you need to start eating good, clean foods. So definitely you should start eating good, clean foods in order to cut the weight. Not only that, but you also need to work on your abs muscles. But I don't think that is an issue for most of us, especially if we do sports. And I'm sure we all do sports, right? So if you currently don't have a 6-pack or at least like ab definition, then definitely cut down your body fat percentage. And yeah. So now onto our secondary muscle groups. These include the arms and the legs. These are still important as if we only have these 2 muscle groups are important as if we only have the V-taper, but we have small like noodle arms and then we have like chicken legs, it's gonna look really weird, right? So we still have to put in some sort of work. As for the second muscle groups, they still need to be worked on, but they can't be the main point. If we have super big legs and super big arms, but then our V taper is non-existent, we're still gonna look weird, right? So that is why they're called the secondary muscle groups. To work on our legs, the muscles that need to be worked on are the calves, the quads, and the hamstrings. The best exercise for legs are probably just squats, because they work on your The best exercise for legs are probably squats, because they work on every single muscle group in the legs, and yeah, and it's just a good exercise overall. They work on your strength and they also work on your muscle growth for your legs. Your quads are probably the main muscle group that you should be working on in your legs, as it's the biggest one and it's the one like in front of you. And so to work on your quads, you should be doing the leg extension, and also so to work on your quads, you should be doing leg extensions, like the one where you like raise your legs in front onto the machine. And then also, like I said, squats. Calves are also very important, as your quads and hamstrings are the upper part of your leg, but then your lower part of the leg is basically your quads, right? I mean, your calves are also very important, as it is the lower part of your leg. And if we only have good quads, which is only the upper part of the leg, it's gonna look very weird because it's gonna look very weird because our calves are so small, but our quads are so big. So calves definitely need to be worked on. We do this by doing calf raises. It's pretty simple, but if you go to the gym, your gym probably will have it. It's basically when they have the weights on you and then you do your calf raise. Or if not, you can do calf raises with no weights. It still helps. We also need to have good hamstrings. We also need to have big and strong hamstrings, as hamstrings are like the back of your legs, and so we still need to work on them to give the leg good balance. We do this by either doing RDLs, which is probably the best exercise for hamstrings, or we can do Nordics, which are also a very good exercise, but it is pretty. Or we can do Nordics, which is a march. To work on your hamstrings, there are 3 different exercises, which are your RDL, your Nordics, and your hamstring curl. Your Nordics and RDLs are probably the best ones. And your RDL is basically like a deadlift, but you pick up the weight and you only like put it down under your knees and then you pull it up again. Nordics, on the other hand, are pretty difficult to do, and if you've seen those people who can do a full Nordic and then they can do twists like that, those guys are tough, man. And so we should definitely also be doing Nordics to work on our hamstrings. In terms of our arms are also very important, as it is the part that is being shown the most, especially in the summer, or like when you're wearing short sleeve clothes. Your arm is basically what most people see. How do we get good arms? We must have good and strong biceps, triceps, and forearms. So definitely do exercises that make these. So we should definitely be doing exercises that work on our triceps, biceps, and forearms. A few examples for biceps, for example, are chin-ups. A few good exercises for your biceps are chin-ups and bicep curls. For our triceps, we can do your tricep extension and your dips. And then for our forearms, we can do farmer carries, where you hold the weight and you walk around. This works on your grip, which is basically your forearm. And to work on our forearms, we need to work on our strength and grip, because our grip comes from our forearms, and we can work on this by doing farmer carries. So basically we take 2 heavy weights, dumbbells or whatever, and we walk around and we're working on our grip and strength in our forearm. Again, arms are very important as it's basically what's being shown most of the time when you're wearing short sleeves. And so we need to work on our arms as well. And yeah, that's basically it for the aesthetic guide. And yeah, that's basically it for the full guide for an aesthetic body. It sounds pretty simple, but then we also have to make sure that we're consistent in the gym. We need to have a good workout plan and stuff like that. If you guys would like to know how to do that, let me know down in the comments and I can make a video for that. But yeah, that's basically it on how to get a aesthetic guide. But yeah, that's basically how to get an aesthetic physique for us Asians, and also how to build that V-taper. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me down. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.